latest movie from the Russos, The Electric State, has dropped on Netflix. This movie had a lot of very troublesome headlines before its release because it cost $320 million and it debuted with a Rotten Tomatoes score under 20%. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Let me know, what did you think about The Electric State, and did you read the book? Give me that point of reference where you're coming from with this one. I haven't read the book, don't know anything about the book or its reputation, but these types of movies, generally speaking, are my thing, so I was interested in checking it out, and then I became very curious with all the discussion surrounding its budget as well as its early Rotten Tomatoes score. One more thing before we get started, today's video is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook of your choice with a free 30-day trial of Audible at audibletrial.com/Sean Chandler. They do have The Electric State there, and so if you're wanting to check out the book, give it a listen. You can listen to The Electric State for free if you sign up for a free trial of Audible at audibletrial.com/Sean Chandler. I am a big fan of Audible. I've been a customer of theirs for just about 10 years now. It was August of 2015 is when I signed up, and I bought the Heir to the Empire trilogy when I first joined up. You can sign up for free at that link down below in the description. You can get The Electric State if you are interested in that sort of thing and like to read with your ears, not your eyes, and let's get started with the review. And when it comes to The Electric State, simply put, it's not nearly as bad as its Rotten Tomatoes score would indicate, nor is it anywhere close to justifying its budget. It's fine. It's passable streaming entertainment. And it's a movie that it has all of the things that a big, gigantic blockbuster is supposed to have. It checks all the right boxes in structuring. It hits the right beats with the plot, with the characters. It's got action. It's got cute robots. It's got scary robots. It has all of the right archetypes for the different types of characters that go in movies like this. It looks expensive because it was, and you've got big, gigantic sets. It doesn't all feel green screen. You've got actual sets, plus all the VFX that are thrown in there. There's all sorts of world building. It has its tragic moments. It has victorious moments. It has everything that it's supposed to have, but it also just feels very familiar. It feels compiled from a bunch of better films. Even to the extent Alan Silvestri, the legendary Alan Silvestri, did the score here, and it's very early on I was like, wait a minute, this is just the music from Back to the Future 2 in the alternate 1985 timeline. And considering that this is set in an alternate evil timeline of the 90s, the fact that that's the specific music cue that Alan Silvestri stole from himself is like, I guess that's convenient. I guess that makes sense that you would do that. But even the score, the composer stole from himself. That's what this movie felt like. That we've seen plenty of other movies before about the war between humans and robots. We've seen plenty of movies about, can a robot discover its humanity? Can robots truly become sentient beings that deserve the right to life and freedom? These have all been explored. And you could say that, right, but this is the family-friendly version. You know, I consider Terminator 2 to be a family movie, but that just says more about me than the movie itself. This is the family-friendly version of so many of my favorite movies. And if they made this film for like $75 to $100 million, I think people would perceive of it very differently. Because you would put it in that category of like, yeah, it's supposed to be this big family adventure. But they didn't spend $75 to $100 million. They spent $320 million on it, which makes it one of the most expensive reported budgets of all time. And as soon as you do that, you think, shouldn't this movie be a gigantic event? Shouldn't this movie be special? Like, we complain, I complain, about the Mission Impossible budgets getting inflated, but also those are memorable movies. Like, you go, Tom Cruise spent a year jumping out of a plane and riding a motorcycle off of stuff so that he could do this insane stunt. Like, it cuts through. There's something memorable there that they spent a ton of money to try and create something special, and specifically for the big screen. And when you spend $320 million for a movie that should be like an $80 million high mid-budget sci-fi film for families, all of a sudden you put it in a category where it just doesn't compare. It doesn't compete. It doesn't feel like it belongs there. It's not a big, gigantic event. It's this week's streaming movie that will be replaced by next week's streaming movie, and we'll forget about it. And I think that's the problem, where there's so much frustration and irritation with the kind of the streaming model, where let's throw hundreds of millions of dollars at big name directors with Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, a credible voice cast, for them to be in a film that doesn't even go to theaters, and it has no cultural impact. It just feels like such a bizarre waste of money that it just reminds everyone of all the movies we want to see or take chances on that never get made. And then you go, why on earth did you make this for this budget when this movie could have been better at a lower budget? That's the frustration. Because watching it, is the acting good enough? Absolutely it is. You got movie stars in there, and you got everyone in here is very good at their job. They have a screen presence. They're fun to watch on screen. Are there cute little robots that make you laugh? Yeah. Are there cute little robots you get invested in that face a horrible death? Sure. Is it fun to see Mr. Peanut fight with a sword against a drone robot? Oh, yeah, of course it is. Is it fun to see big, gigantic robots battle? Sure, of course it is. But it also doesn't feel like it adds anything new to the genre. I feel like if you're going to spend $320 million, you probably should add something new to the genre. You should do something interesting with your movie, not just the latest version, the family version of this thing we've seen before. And this is where movies like this are so tricky, I feel like, to review sometimes, because I enjoyed the film. I'm sure I'm being very negative, and my score will probably be very confusing in light of the way that I'm talking about it, because I'm kind of analyzing its existence and the discourse surrounding it as much as I am talking about the specifics of the film. It's entirely competent with everything that it does. It's structured properly. The shots look good. Everything is done right, but they're doing something that has been done before. It is a good enough version of the formula. And good enough, by definition, is good enough. But $320 million, you feel like should be better than good enough. It should be better than slick mediocrity. Like, mid does not mean bad. This is a mid movie, but mid doesn't mean bad. But that's where mid, in the middle. It's like, yeah, it's well made, but it doesn't do anything new or interesting. And I think that's where mid gets a bad reputation, or people use it to mean bad, because they're referring to movies that, because of the talent involved and the budget spent, it should be better than mid. A $320 million film should not be slick mediocrity. A $320 million film should not be a recycled version that's more family friendly of a bunch of films that we've seen a zillion times before. It should add more to the genre. That's the weirdness of movies like this. Why do I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is so low? I think it's 100% because people are just irritated that a movie this expensive is just right there in the middle. It should be better than it is. But if you scored it, if it wasn't a $300 million film, I think people would be a lot more positive on it. Because it's fine. It's passable. It does its job. It doesn't like so many blockbusters that go on way too long. The credits on this movie are over 10 minutes long, so factor that in, it's under 2 hours. I like that. We're doing a family movie that's not way too long. Awesome. But the movie should be better. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Make of that what you will. I like these kind of movies. Watched it with my family. Everybody seemed to have a good time with it. It hit the right notes. It does all of that. But it should do more than that. Overall, it's a B- on the entertainment scale, a 6.5 out of 10. And I guess stream it, because that's the only way you can do it if you're interested in the genre and the characters. If you want a movie to throw on at nighttime while your family's watching a board game or whatever, it will 100% do that. If you just want a family movie night, it will deliver what you want out of it. it won't deliver any more than that. It is passable entertainment, but it's disposable entertainment you will forget about. It does its job, and I have no idea if that's what the purpose of this movie was, why you would spend this kind of money on it.